Motorola Edge 15 Pro, a phone that comes at a lower price than flagships but packs flagship-level build quality and specifications, meeting all your expectations. The first thing you notice when you get your hands on the Motorola Edge 15 Pro is its premium build quality. It gives you the feel of a high-end flagship phone with its attractive and high-quality construction. Motorola has always been sensitive in the design of its smartphones, and it has really performed well in this regard. For example, the Moto G84 was one of the beautiful design and appealing Motorola phones that truly had a high build quality despite being a mid-range and affordable device. However, the problem with previous mid-range Motorola phones was that the design of the camera modules protruded too much, which wasn't very interesting. But the Edge 15 Pro has overcome this issue, and its rear design is very attractive and high quality, especially with the leather material considered for it, which provides a stable feel in hand and avoids any feeling of falling. The display design of the Edge 15 Pro is innovative and beautiful, featuring a notchless infinity design with a simple circular cutout at the top center for the selfie camera sensor, albeit with a very small diameter. The curved display design minimizes the bezels to the fullest extent possible, resulting in a screen-to-body ratio of 92%. With such a wide and attractive display, you are facing a truly immersive experience. The lightweight and the slimness of this phone make it comfortable for long-term use, and it is also IP68 certified, meaning it's completely waterproof. You might wonder if its curved display and lightweight would make it prone to slipping when you are working with it. But no, the reason for this is a leather material on its back, which provides stability in your hand and doesn't give you any feeling of sleeping. Now let's move on to the display, where Motorola has proven itself, especially in previous mid-range models, which have performed very well in this regard and have truly become a serious competitor to other display brands with its 6.7-inch display at 2520 by 1080 resolution with an OLED panel. So far, we have realized that we are facing a very powerful display. But wait, this display has a pixel density of 446 ppi with very accurate color reproduction and high clarity. Although we had such color accuracy and reproduction in previous mid-range models, but the Edge 15 Pro is something else. The brightness level is 2000 nits, which is very good for a mid-range phone, but this is not very cheap. The brightness it provides gives you a very high quality image even in daylight and even under direct sunlight, providing excellent clarity. But it doesn't end there. The refresh rate of many flagship phones, which are much more expensive than this phone, is 120Hz, such as the S24 Ultra or iPhone 15 Pro Max, among others. The 144Hz refresh rate of the Edge 15 Pro's display gives you the feeling of a gaming phone. Most gaming phones have a 144Hz display, which not only makes everyday use very smooth and lag-free, but also performs very well in running heavy games and watching high-quality videos. So you're facing a display that not only appears in the size and appearance of flagship phones, but also goes beyond in terms of refresh rate and performs like a gaming phone. Guys, if you enjoyed this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. Now let's talk about the camera sensors, whether the Motorola Edge 50 Pro has to prove whether it can be a flagship killer or not. It features a main 50-megapixel sensor, a 10-megapixel telephoto sensor with 3x optical zoom, and a 13-megapixel ultra-wide sensor. In the rear camera setup, at first glance, you might say it's not a flagship killer and just has an ordinary 50-megapixel sensor that many mid-range phones have. But the first point is that it's not just about the numbers, and the second point is that the sensor has an aperture of f1.4. If you want to understand how powerful this is, let me tell you that the main camera of the Galaxy S24 Ultra has an aperture of f1.7, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max also has f1.8. From here, it's clear that the Edge 15 Pro is fully deserving of being a flagship killer. The first thing that grabs your attention in the photos of this phone is their vibrant and glossy appearance, and the color separation is also very good, and even the color separation in the color spectrum is well seen in the photos. However, it has one drawback: the sharpness could have been reduced to better display the details. The next point we should mention is about contrast and white balance, which, as you can see in the image, have performed excellently in this section. Just as we praised the excellent color separation of the sensor, I must add that even color separation in the close is evident, truly enhancing the appealing of the image. As mentioned before, this phone boasts triple optical zoom, And now take a look at this image. The 1x zoom is okay and performs very well. The colors are excellent and it shows fine details. Moving on to the 2x zoom, we see very precise and accurate detail representation, with performance truly on par with a flagship phone. Now let's move on to the 3x zoom, and we see that details are still very well represented with excellent color separation and highly extensive dynamic range, ensuring that there are no compromises in the image quality output. One thing I should tell you is that the main camera and the telephoto camera of this phone have optical image stabilization, or OIS, meaning it eliminates unintended vibrations during video recording or photography to a great extent, significantly impacting the output it delivers. Another feature we find in flagship phones is portrait zoom. This phone also offers you the ability to capture portrait image in 4 modes. Now let's move on to nighttime photography. The image output and brightness are very good, with details displayed appropriately and quite acceptably. However, there is still a flaw in this section, with sharpness being high in the image. If the sharpness were controlled a bit, the detailed representation could have been better. This is particularly noticeable when the subject is not very concentrated. However, in this image, where the subject is more focused and light absorption is excellent, light scattering and illumination have been done in the best possible way. If you want to see how well it performs in noise reduction in nighttime lighting, take a look at this image. We selected artificial light to see how well it performs in noise reduction and light scattering. As you can see, the performance is excellent and outstanding, comparable to flagship phones like the S24 Ultra or iPhone 15 Pro Max in terms of noise removal precision. However, it may not reach the level of flagship phones in the 2x and 3x zoom in low light conditions. Now let's talk about the selfie sensor. The Moto Edge 50 Pro boasts one of the most powerful selfie cameras, a 50 megapixel selfie sensor. In daylight, as you can see, light control is very good and detail representation is very accurate. It also performs well in portrait mode. Also, if you pay attention to the image borders, you will notice that the image sharpness is not completely separated from the heavily bokeh background. In low light, you don't need to worry, because as you can see, the image output has very good brightness and detailed representation is suitable, tough not at the flagship level. In daylight, you can rely on the Moto Edge 50 Pro with peace of mind, as it can compete with flagship phones. In low light, if the image focus is extensive, high sharpness can be slightly annoying. But if the image focus is concentrated, it truly performs like a top-tier flagship. The main and selfie cameras of the Moto Edge 50 Pro can record 4K videos at up to 30 frames per second. I must tell you that it's perfectly suitable for everyday use and can also be relied upon for specialized uses and creating very engaging content. Now let's move on to the hardware specifications of the Moto Edge 50 Pro. Motorola has shown very good performance in its previous mid-range phones, but this phone is equipped with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 processor. It's not a flagship processor, but it can compete with many of them. According to the Antutu benchmark test we conducted on this phone, as you can see, it scored very well, indicating excellent performance in gaming. When playing heavy games like Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG, Asphalt 9 and Genshin Impact, you can play with the highest graphics settings without worrying about any lag. Additionally, the GPU of this device is the Adreno 720, which is one of the best GPUs on the market. Many flagships we see in the market today don't perform well in temperature control. However, Motorola has shown very good performance in the cooling department. Pay attention to this graph. In a 45-minute test conducted on this phone, the CPU's performance decreased by a maximum of 20%, and sometimes it has highs and lows, but it's not very important. And overall, it has better performance compared to many flagships, so you can play games with peace of mind. While it performs very well in gaming, as you can see, it's running Asphalt 9 with the highest graphics setting possible, delivering the best possible performance. Another interesting point is its outstanding speakers. Among all these strong specifications I have told you, it has one weakness: its battery. The battery of this phone is 4500 mAh, which is logical because most Motorola phones are thin and lightweight, so ultimately it cannot use a very powerful battery. This 4500 mAh battery we have on this phone, based on some tests, lasts almost a full day in a regular daily use, including gaming, music playback and watching video, but it depends on your usage habits. However, its positive point in the battery department is that it has a 125-watt charger. It can charge your phone from 0 to 100% in just 18 minutes. The Motorola Edge 15 Pro, with the specifications I have told you, undoubtedly deserve the name of a flagship killer. This phone comes in 4 versions: 128 and 8GB of RAM, 256 and 8GB of RAM, 256 and 12GB of RAM, and 512GB with 12GB of RAM. This device's internal memory is equipped with UFS 2.2 technology, which could have been better, but with its extraordinary specifications, this aspect is hardly noticeable. Well, that was the review of the Motorola Edge 50 Pro, which truly has an insane camera, very powerful hardware that can easily handle graphic-intensive games, and also features an impressive 124Hz gaming display, all packed in a high-quality and ergonomic body. Guys, it's the end of the video and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment and share this video with your friends, but don't forget to subscribe.